the key things that are going to set those people apart who are then able to scale to 6, multi-6, 7 and beyond figures. What is the difference? And it is no longer your certifications. That is not what we're seeing. That is not what the last 2-3 years have shown. Today's daily Q was really a combination of a couple of questions, mainly what is involved in marketing, what is involved in content, social media, systems, efficiency, how do I repurpose content, getting publicity, affiliate marketing, like marketing.
Yeah.
And I want to sort of differentiate between marketing and content, because marketing is sort of like content is one element of marketing.
Yes.
Right? Content, words, videos are marketing mediums.
Yes.
It's a medium by which you market.
Ooh, yes. And that's a very, I feel like, common misunderstanding, misconception. Like, I feel like most people don't actually know what marketing is.
Agreed. Do you want to tell them?
I feel like I would be so excited to tell them what marketing is, because marketing is the way in which you move somebody from one state of thinking, one level of awareness, to a state of thinking, level of awareness, way of being that is in a better position to want to take the next step with you, whether that is signing up for a masterclass, whether that is downloading a lead magnet, whether that is working with you. Marketing is the process that you take somebody from point A to point B.
Yes. As Seth Godin would say, marketing creates change.
Oh, love that saying.
And I am so fired up on this topic because this morning I was putting together notes for a live workshop, so to speak, that we're running tomorrow called the State of the Union. And what I was really sort of nerding out on is this idea of what is going to be the difference maker for those practitioners and coaches who are able to sort of leverage this new normal. And what are the key things that are going to set those people apart who are then able to scale to 6, multi-6, 7 and beyond figures. What is the difference? And it is no longer your certifications. That is not what we're seeing. That is not what the last 2-3 years have shown, is that it is no longer your certifications. It is no longer even about the quantity of information that you push out.
Yes.
Right? It is about your ability to create change for people in their mindset, in their belief system, and in their actions, so they get a transformation, whether they work with you or not.
Yes. And I will add, and this is just such a cool evolution of the online space and where things started and where they're going, because when things first started to move online, when people first started to show up online as experts, it was just about content and how much you could pump out, because it was new. And the people who were on there putting out content were getting awareness and attention. And then that was all it was taking for people to want to move to the next step. And this is why it's so important to understand what's going on now and what changed in 2020 and what's changing moving forward, because now a lot more people are online, and just pumping out content doesn't work anymore, even though it did. And this is so important, and why you have to pay attention and listen to what's working now, not what was working last year or in 2019, because it's different.
It is absolutely different. And what the trends were showing, and not that we build businesses off of trends, but what, I don't even want to say trends.
It's evolution.
Evolution.
It's evolution.
It's the evolution. It's the evolution with a mix of influencer marketing and being able to, infuse your personal brand with the education and the experience that you have. And those people that can figure out how to do that in an authentic way, in a very strategic and authentic way, will be able to create change. How do you get clients? That's the question of the day. How do you get clients? And the way that you get clients is by marketing to them and bringing them to a higher level of readiness, so that when you go and extend an opportunity to work with you, their resistance is lowered, their objections are lowered. You have used your marketing.
Yes.
And the mediums by which you market, video, lives, webinar, content, all of that, podcast, book, all of those things are marketing mediums. You use your marketing mediums to shift and create a change for them so that they are more ready to say yes to you. And sometimes that happens after 60 minutes. Sometimes that shift and that change happens after 7 days. Sometimes it happens 45 days later. Sometimes it happens 3 years later, where the person is finally ready. Think about it. I'm ready. What makes somebody ready? What makes somebody ready to invest in transformation? It's not more information. It's not letters after your name, and it's not a certification. So what makes them ready? Readiness to change. What breaks down the barriers to staying the same, if we want to say it in a different way? So do you want to sort of go through, when we talk about marketing, this is so important because people maybe will say what marketing isn't before we actually talk about what to focus on. Right? Marketing is not blogging.
No, it is not.
Marketing is not writing a book.
Nope.
Marketing might not even be having a webinar.
Nope.
Depending on the kind of webinar you have. Right? Marketing is not social media.
No. Those are all ways in which you could potentially use marketing.
Yes.
But they are not marketing.
Right.
And I want to rewind for 30 seconds just quickly, because you said something and I think it was so good. And I feel like it will be missed if we don't just stop and acknowledge it right now. So you were talking about moving people from like where they are and their readiness to change and how it might take time. And I think this is where 92.8% of practitioners and coaches come in and get it wrong from the get-go and get so frustrated. And it's because you are talking to people from where you want them to be and not from where they are. And that's a huge, huge, huge difference from what we just said. If you do not talk to somebody in your marketing at the stage in which they are when you meet them, and you talk to them at the stage in which you want them to be, which is what most practitioners and coaches do, assuming they are ready for all of the information and they can't wait to heal their gut and they're so excited to learn about the top 10 supplements for XYZW, you're not marketing to them. And so it doesn't work and nobody responds and you get frustrated and you decide that marketing online does not work.
And just even going back to the questions that were posed from Elizabeth and Kathy and Sarah and Sally, all about how to repurpose content, getting publicity, affiliate marketing, social media, what's involved in creating content. I bet you that if I asked them, with all the respect in the world, if I asked them, what are you marketing? They would not be able to concisely tell me. And so they're going to go try affiliate marketing. And it's not going to bring them clients. They're going to go and try and get publicity, but because they don't have an offer or even a way to capture the publicity that's coming their way, it's not going to bring them success. And so if we say that you are asking questions above the fundamentals, I would love for you to go back and look at marketing, which is not self-promotion. Marketing is not self-promotion.
Nope.
Self-promotion is, hi, I'm a health coach. Want to work with me? Stranger, please? Please? That's self-promotion. That ain't marketing.
Nope.
Right? Nope. That's not marketing. So let's talk about what marketing is, so that when you are creating your affiliate campaigns and your social media and publicity and all of those other things, you're actually doing it correctly from the start with a solid understanding of how to use marketing to break down the barriers that your prospects have, so that they are at a higher level of readiness to say yes to you at the higher price value.
Yes.
So let's go. What are they?
All right. Are we going to start from the very beginning and talk about relevancy, or do you want to like start like way at the top?
We must talk about relevancy, because most practitioners and coaches, again, with the respect owed, you ain't relevant to nobody right now.
Yes. Yep. So what is relevancy? What is relevancy? Relevancy is being looked up to as the expert, as the person leading the conversation, the leader in the field, in whatever it is you specialize in. And I just want to like say something. Relevancy, it's not automatically bestowed on you because you know things.
Or because you have a designation.
Yes. And that's really important. And we're joking, but that's actually really important, because it is, a lot of practitioners and coaches assume that just because they now have letters after their name, or they did XYZ certification, which is great, people will condone, that's not the right word, bestow relevancy upon them. And that's not how it works.
Right.
How does it work?
And when you think about relevancy, another way to think about it is resonance.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Or relatability.
Yep.
And think about people that you deem relevant in this space, right? You're in this group, so maybe you deem me relevant. You deem us relevant. What makes us relevant? Right? What makes us relevant? What makes you resonate with me?
Yeah.
And what will make your ideal prospect relevant, or deem you as relevant and relate to you? So it's relevancy, resonance, and relatability.
Ooh, the 3 R's.
The 3 R's.
The 3 R's for the win today.
That wasn't by accident. And you know why that wasn't by accident? Because I know why. Yeah. But there's elements to becoming relevant. And in order to become relevant, you have to have a really maybe inappropriate understanding of your ideal client.
Yeah, like slightly over the line.
Yes.
Stage 5 clinger understanding.
Because you need to know where the majority of the people are when they come into your world. Because in order to be relevant to someone, you have to validate their experience. And if you are talking at them with all of the information and all of the teaching, there is nothing there that validates their experience. You are just spewing thoughts, and not even thoughts. You are spewing education.
Yep.
Which that is like worth nothing these days, because anyone with an internet connection right now
Yes.
has zero lack of information.
Yes.
They wanted to know 5 ways to stay hydrated, they could just Google it. If they wanted to know how to do an elimination diet, they could just Google it.
Yep.
And they can find it. So information in and of itself doesn't make you relevant. And so really understanding their readiness to change state and having clear messaging around your brand, your signature methodology, what you do, who you serve, and how is more important than you spewing information.
Yes.
Right? And making sure that you're positioned as a leader, as the expert from the start, and you have strategically designed your brand in a way that will help the people coming into your world feel that they resonate with you.
Yes.
Have you thought about that? You know, have you thought about how you are intentionally going to use what you know and use your experience to resonate with the people that you most want to work with through social media, through video, through your podcast?
And can we just tie this conversation to our conversation yesterday about asking the right questions? Oh my gosh, because as you were saying that, I just realized, you know, how few people actually ask us about how to stay relevant and how to position themselves and how to like
zero people
compared to how many people are like, should I be on YouTube or LinkedIn or where should I be?
How do I repurpose my content?
What production schedule should I go with? How do I hire a VA to put together a podcast? Asking the right questions.
Yeah. And it's also, you don't know what you don't know. And because we were not trained this way, we were trained as a practitioner, a therapist, a coach, it likely never occurred to you because you were set up for a clinical one-to-one practice. It never even occurred to you. I know it didn't occur to me for so long. How do I resonate with the people that I most want to work with? Because until they deem me as relevant, I can't deem myself as relevant. Until my audience deems me as relevant, there's no clients.
There's no clients. It doesn't matter how many podcast episodes you put out there.
Right. There's no clients. And so when we talk about content and marketing and all of this stuff, the questions that we want you to think about yourself is, what makes me relevant? Because the letters after your name, that does not make you relevant.
Nope.
Your blogs don't make you relevant. So what are the categories that you're going to talk about that make you relevant? What are the personal experiences that you can use to relate to and validate your ideal client, your audience, that they're going to be like, oh my gosh, yes, right? You're telling my story. How can you create content that relates to and creates a perspective shift based off of where your audience is at the point of first coming into your world?
Yeah.
Because marketing, content, video, lives, podcasts, reels, the whole 9 yards, you will never struggle for clients if you learn the skill set of how to market.
Yeah.
Because when you understand that, then you can translate it to your preferred medium, which might be video, it might be content, right? Yep. And if you don't know what to put in your preferred medium, it's because you don't understand marketing and how to tie content back to where your ideal client is and what they need to know and what they need to understand, and how to make them feel safe and how to bring them from, you know, a very low level of readiness to change. And when I think about, you know, what that is, that could be like contemplation.
Yeah.
I have a problem and I want to stop feeling stuck. Somebody comes into your world and that's where they're at. They're in contemplation, right?
Yep.
Where they're still like preparation and then action, right?
Yeah.
Where they're, you know, their commitment level is very low. Their commitment level is very low at this point. And so you use marketing to help them understand what's really going on and why nothing that they've tried will work. And that unless they address the root cause, the real problem, what the real problem even is, and how this solution works and what would trip them up, and all of these things that are not like 5 ways to stay hydrated type of content. There's such a difference between that type of content and marketing content, which then serves to get them into that preparation where they're like, okay, I can see now, like, oh, worked for Sally over here. Okay, worked for Jenny over here. Oh, she even has 3 kids like me. Oh, okay, I get it, but she did this and this. Oh, that's included in the program. Okay, like I'm wrapping my head around, I'm preparing, I'm like psyching myself up. Okay, cool. And then you go and you have a 5-day challenge or a webinar or a phone call, and you put the offer out and the person is in action. They're ready to commit. You've brought them from this, like, I have a problem, but like, I'm not sure, like nothing really works, to, oh, okay. Like, well, I never tried it that way. And that makes total sense to me. And I didn't know about this thing before. Nobody told me, including my doctor. No other practitioner mentioned this either. So this person really seems to know what they're talking about. I wonder what it would be like to work with them. Oh, case study, case study, case study. Okay, I need more information. That's what marketing does.
That's a marketing journey right there.
That's what marketing does. And we've all been through it. For those people that are in the 10K online success system, which is our signature method, that's the journey that they went on. Is, I don't know how to, like, I've tried this and I don't know what I'm doing and nothing's going to work, to, oh, wait, like she's also a nurse practitioner and it worked for her and she made $10,000. How? Oh, they're showing me how in a webinar. Cool. Okay. Wait, also, this thing that I read makes sense to me. Okay. You know what? I'm curious enough. I'm going to book a call. Cool.
Yeah.
On the call, questions answered. Not ready yet. No probs, right? Follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. Oh, you're ready? Amazing.
Let's go.
That's marketing.
Yeah.
So whether you do it via social media or a blog or a website or this or that, it fucking doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Right? It doesn't matter. And so if the focus is on, should I use Facebook or Instagram, the focus isn't on learning how to market. And marketing creates change. And when you can create change for someone, whether they ever pay you or not, you have transformed their life. And that is what we are here for.
I can't add to that. Are you kidding? Like, boom. Daily Q answered.
So when we say, you know, you're trying all the things, respectfully, you're not. You're not. So marketing creates change. And we are all here to transform lives. And so every time you create a piece of marketing, you think, how is this going to elevate someone's readiness to transform their own life?
That's it.
Another cue down.
Another day, another cue.
Another day, another cue. Yeah. We will see you all tomorrow. Have a good day, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.